Welcome back to the Close of Play podcast.
This is it. This is Close of Play. I'm Ollie.
And I'm Craig.
We're your hosts. Enjoy this episode. Make sure you
like and subscribe.
See you soon.
Enjoy.
There we are. Welcome back to Close of Play.
Another episode.
This is it. This is a good one. Craig, you got a guest on this morning. Do you want to introduce? Should we start again? Because introduced isn't a word, is it? Or should we
can make it a word.
Should we just carry on?
You'll have loads of this with me in these words. So
if you want to make up a new word.
On.
I feel like the whiteboard, it's usually a Jonathan, like a wobbly, isn't it?
Sometimes we have a bit of a wobbly. Just for awareness, I'm not resetting this. This is it now.
I think we should keep it like this because all the way through you'll notice how bad that I will mumble and say things wrong all the time, and that's just me. So
Roisin, would you like to kindly introduce yourself?
So I'm Roisin. I'm an aesthetic nurse and I own the company Allure Aesthetics. Yeah.
So in a nutshell, I see. So I'll go back.
I thought you were going to say I've had lots of work done by Roisin.
I am the example.
Poster boy.
Anyway, so going back to like college, I remember seeing like the hair and beauty girls, and they were seen as and this isn't my opinion, but they were seen as the dumb ones of the of college. Okay,
this is Craig's opinion, isn't it, Ollie?
We'll clip that. Yeah.
But now I see them all driving around in Range Rovers.
Yeah.
No, wow, this is really fitting the bill, isn't it?
Turns out they're not dumb.
Roisin actually owns a Range Rover.
Yeah.
And I didn't even do beauty, so that's...
No, but my point being that beauty has literally exploded, and obviously people are doing it by the book. Some people aren't doing it by the book, but it is a booming industry.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so keen to get you on.
So it is a booming industry, but not always for the right reasons.
No. So
I feel that...
So where's this come from?
So I feel like obviously we talk about beauty.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's the first thing that comes to your mind is beauty when I think of medicine. And I think of medical treatments. And this is where aesthetics is going wrong, unfortunately, and it's fallen down the route of beauty treatments. And like you say, the beauty girls, the dumb girls, but there's so many beauticians and people and that I've met along the way, and I will train from beauty therapists, and the knowledge they have in skin is tremendous. They're amazing. Like, they're fab. And I look at them sometimes and think, Christ, I haven't even got a clue what they're on about. Yeah. And that comes from, so there are people who get their back up about beauticians doing these treatments and say it should solely be medical. And I do agree to a certain extent, but at the same time, as medics, we didn't go through university and learn all about skin and anatomy like they did for 3 years. So they have an upper hand in that sense as well.
It's almost two different worlds then.
It is two different worlds that are combining.
Yeah. What is aesthetics? What is aesthetics like? Because that's kind of the new.
But aesthetics can be loads of different things, can't it? If you type in aesthetics into Instagram, you're coming up with loads of naked men and women on there.
Why does it fall under that name?
By definition, is it just anything that changes appearance?
But yeah, sounds like a great. Sounds like.
Well, that word change in appearance to me, like I don't like that word to say change in appearance.
You're not a plastic surgeon.
I don't like to change how somebody looks. I like to enhance somebody and make somebody feel more confident.
Okay.
And I think within aesthetics, this is where things are going wrong. And there's people who are unethically treating people.
Okay. Is it easy to, obviously we're going to find out about you and you're doing everything right and you're qualified, so you're qualified nurse then?
Nurse, yeah.
Okay.
Qualified nurse. So I qualified as a nurse in 2012 and I qualified as a nurse prescriber. So I went back to university to do my nurse prescribing in 2015.
Okay.
So that means obviously your prescription medication now I can prescribe.
Okay.
Just to make it easier for my patients and more safety, really. Obviously, if anybody was to get anybody...
Did you know you were going to go into aesthetics at that point?
No, not a clue.
Okay.
What were you doing before this?
I went into nursing to be a midwife. So I actually wanted to be a midwife.
Yeah.
And when I did my A-levels in school, not beauty, I did A-levels in health and social care. And I needed 3 A-levels to do midwifery, but I only needed 2 to do nursing. Right. So at that age, 18, I thought I could either go back to college for a year or I can go to university and do my nurse and then do 18 months midwifery afterwards. Yeah. But by the time you get into university and, you've qualified as a nurse, you want to go out and earn money. So I just thought, right, I'm going to leave midwifery for now, go and do my nursing. And my first job was in Neville Hall, Abergavenny, orthopaedics. I absolutely loved my job. But when I was there, I got a little bit bored and I had a little bit more extra money than what I was used to. So I thought I'm going to go and do a course. And I thought I'm going to do a course in Botox and fillers. Yeah. Sorry, my phone's going now.
That's right.
And I don't even know what made me do it. I've never really been one interested in beauty.
Yeah.
Which is like that side of things. I've always been like, people who know me will say I'm more of a...
Were you more intrigued by it, do you think?
I don't know what it was because it wasn't even big back then.
Yeah.
I was like
When was this?
2002. 12 was the first time I did a Botox and filler course. And I was 21.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that you think about anti-aging. It was Botox lip fillers. I was dead against lip fillers. Thought, no, disgusting.
Yeah.
So I didn't really do a lot with it back then. I didn't really utilise it that much. And then in 2014, I left the NHS and I went to work for the Harley Medical Group. So I've always been interested in cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. Is that private then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think as a nurse, you're either medical or you're surgical. Okay. And I was always like surgical. I like gory things. Like if I didn't go into aesthetics, I would go into wound care. Like I love all stuff like that. So I was thinking I'm going to go into cosmetics, go into private care. Obviously you think it's more money. Yeah. Go into cosmetics, more interesting, see what's going on. So I got a job for the Harley Medical Group and I became the lead nurse there quite quickly. So I started to do all different treatments then. So I was doing injectables, I was doing all non-surgical treatments like lasers, which I absolutely loved. Doing all the pre and post-op care. So I still felt like I was doing all the nursing, all the good things. But then whilst I was working there, I was there for around about 3 years. And it's just the ethics are just, with big businesses, it's all about targets and...
Yeah, you lose the personal touch almost.
Yeah, and they're paying so much money in these big companies and they're literally in for 15 minutes for Botox, half hour for dermal fillers. And I think, I don't even run my own business like that. I had my own business on the side back then as well. I had about 2 years of working there. And I thought, I don't even do that with my own patients, rushing them in and out. And that's money to be made for myself. Like I thought, I'm not doing it here. And as a nurse, you've got your registration to uphold and be able to protect that. And the things they were doing is just not safe. And the people come through the door, you're rushing them. And I just feel it's not great. And I'm a talker and I like to be able to speak to people, get to know them, make them feel comfortable before we even sit down and do their treatment.
Was that like a conveyor belt then? So it's kind of just however much.
I just
money,
thought
wasn't it?
I could just see how...
How much are people paying? Like, I don't know.
Well, when it was in Harley, people used to pay 195, 295, 395. So that's for 1, 2 and 3 areas of Botox, which is really common. My most common procedure is Botox. I do anti-wrinkle injections all day.
This is the bread and butter.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Who gets that done? It's not just like
everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
What, guys, girls,
well, yeah.
guys, girls.
Botox.
Brotox.
Botox for the bros.
We're trying to get a discount code for the bros.
Is that actually a thing? I've never heard that before.
Botox.
No. Botox.
You have to have a little nose.
There we are.
It's just men having it. It makes it
Should
feel more
trademark that
manly,
regime.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's been around there for years.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Trademark is quite hard to do as well, I think.
We know someone.
Trademarking. Do you?
Brotox. Imagine that whole new business.
Yeah, I know.
Brotox.
Because do you know what? I've actually thought when you see these cosmetic surgeons in the films, etc., it's always a man. When I see it on social media, it's always a man. But then aesthetics is never men. And I was thinking, I could have cleaned up in this industry if I was going back. It was actually really, when I spent the time with you, I really enjoyed my time from an education.
So interested, wasn't
from
you?
an educational purpose.
He was there to take pictures and he was asking all the questions.
I am.
Let's not expose me too
him
much, but I was actually really intrigued by it. It was really interesting.
Loved it.
Where do you get this stuff from? Like you can't buy it in Asda, can you? So like where?
Well, this
as a
day and age,
business,
there's people who are buying it from God knows where, and that's the worrying thing. You'll see people doing Botox and fillers for like £100 for a mil of filler or £100 for 3 years of Botox, and they'll come into me and I'm like, well, you haven't had Botox.
Yeah,
Botox
it's not the real product.
No, Botox is a brand name for botulinum. So botulinum is a toxin that is an anti-wrinkle treatment basically, and there's different brands of that.
Yeah.
And you can have Botox, Bocouture, Allure, Dysport. I trained in Botox and Allure, Botox being the more expensive version.
Okay. Are these like different grades of the product then? So like Botox?
It's just how they're made differently. So different medications.
It's like their own product in itself.
Yeah. If you go into Asda's or something.
But you need to be trained in
paracetamol.
Botox to be able to use Botox. Is that how that works?
You train in the brand, is it?
Yeah, because it's different how they... How it's diluted and reconstituted and things is different.
So you've got to, obviously you're a proper nurse, but people can still obviously get their hands on this stuff.
Yeah.
That's scary, isn't it?
It was so
and
scary.
what's scary now is that it went down the route of being medics and beauticians doing these treatments. But now it's anybody. If you two want to go and do a course tomorrow.
I think that's what I was getting at the start. It wasn't to offend anybody, but actually that anyone, Joe Blogs, can now go and do an online course or whatever and then pick up this product and start putting it in people's bodies.
Yeah, what's the regulation then?
There's no regulations in the UK whatsoever.
I did hear that was changing though.
They've said this for years and years and years.
Okay.
Is it hard if they want to impose a regulation? Like it's almost so mass market now. Like
how would it's just down to money. I think because it brings so much money in, they don't want to regulate it.
Who checks? Like, does anyone walk in like your salon? No. Like, where does it fall under?
So for Botox and fillers, doesn't fall anywhere. We're only registered with HRW, so the Health Inspectorate of Wales, because of our lasers that we have. So if we didn't,
but they don't care about anything else.
Don't care about nothing else.
Wow, that's dangerous.
Nothing at all. We got a tattoo license recently for semi-permanent makeup.
Yeah.
They were more thorough than anything else. And I was gobsmacked
because
by
it's
that.
a new industry.
To me, it's just tattooing where I don't see that as big as what you should see injecting somebody's face. But
so it's your own morals almost, like, so it's great.
Yeah.
It's great to know for you that and your clients that you're doing everything properly, but there's 10 other businesses for everyone, probably even more, isn't there?
Yeah. And like, I am very ethical in the way I act. And I think that's just me as a person. I'm very over-caring. And before I even wanted to be a nurse, my mum was like, oh, I don't want you to be a nurse. She was worried about me being a nurse. She said, no, you care too much. It's not good for you. You're going to take this home.
You need a line. You can care to this point.
You shouldn't do that. I'm too worried about you. But I just love it. And I just love looking after people and making people feel good. So going from nursing into aesthetics is kind of like, I miss nursing side of things. I miss just tidying someone up and putting them to bed comfortably and those type of things, because that's just the nature I have. So I wouldn't go into business and treat anybody
differently.
Like, when you've got a code of conduct as a medical practitioner, we've got a duty of care.
Sure.
Yeah. And the first thing is to do no harm to people. And I really feel that sometimes my sister, I don't even do my own sister's lips because I won't do them how she wants them.
Okay.
And I've gone down my mum's house on the weekend and I've looked at my sister and I've looked at her and I thought, oh my God, this should be classed as GBH.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
You see it like on all social media, like people with massive puff. I think it's really unattractive myself.
It's awful, isn't it? And most men do.
Yeah. But why do people do it though?
I don't mind if it's like a small amount, like if it's an enhancement, as you would say.
Yeah.
But actually, what I do see is the girls will have the procedure done, the lips balloon because it is so invasive, and then the swelling goes down and the girls say, oh, I need to go get more done.
Yeah.
But having spent time with you, I know that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
Like
So
you need to have them dissolved.
Yeah. So the good stuff is actually like a proper, you don't need like top-ups and...
Well, you need top-ups.
Yeah, but not like, it shouldn't almost dissolve.
But the application process is different.
And it's the practitioner who's doing it, is their view on what looks good and then type of clientele they're having.
If they've got big puffy lips and they're like, oh, you want 5 mil.
But even like still, if we say this, and there's lots of nurses and doctors who have, they act and they do lots of bad treatments and they do too much as well. So it's not to say that beauticians do one treatment, nurses do another treatment, because there's lots of really good beauticians as well who do amazing treatments. But the majority of it, the bad work does tend to come from people who are non-medics most of the time. But then like my sister's lips, she goes to somebody who's a medic. And
so your sister is the example. What is the long-term effect that could be like complication-wise? Like what could she expect?
Well, I don't think we really know. And I think
is it still too new?
Within this industry, we're still learning, see? And like, obviously I started doing this 10 years ago. And when I started doing this on my clinic 5 years ago, before that I was in salons and I was doing like renting days for like 2 years. And back then, like I've been guilty of doing somebody's lips and then a month later they've come back and said, oh, I want more. And I think, oh, I get all excited thinking more money. They're obviously happy. They're going to want to come back. And I'm like, great, let's go for it. And then I've learned then a year, 2 years later that actually I've caused somebody to have migration in their lips because I've treated them too quickly. I haven't allowed their anatomy to stretch and take and heal.
Is it hard though? Like given the nature of your business, then is it just hard because you want to care, but also it's like a lot of the time they're almost saying I want it, and then you're just like
in the beginning.
Now do you feel now you're in a position where you're like I'm not
people
doing it?
People come to me. Yeah, people come in. I had a lady in on the I think Tuesday she came in. She said I've come in. She said I want to have my lips done, but I know you're probably going to say no again. So if we are going to say no, I like to have my tear trough done, and I'm like I love that she knows that I was going to say no.
What's a tear trough?
Hollowing under the eye area.
You knew that, didn't you, Craig?
This is like a new thing. Right?
I'm asking all these questions. I don't know anything about it. You know what I mean?
Been around.
So
I only heard about people having like Botox or fillers under the eyes recently. So
Botox you use around. Botox you can use lots of different places. So with fillers, but we tend to use Botox in the upper third of the face, and then fillers in the lower
third. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually.
Write that down. So bringing it back to business then. So you've had your clinic for
5.5 years.
Okay. So when you started, it was still, would you say like almost like not unknown, but like very new?
Yeah. I think we was the first clinic in Abergavenny to open.
Yeah.
And there was a few clinics around. I think I was very lucky the time I started, I suppose, because there was only a few of us that were actually doing it. And at that time, it was mainly medics that was doing it. There wasn't many beauticians.
What services were you doing then?
Botox fillers, chemical peels, microneedling, laser hair removal.
Okay.
So I did more than what other people did. Most people did just injectables. But because I worked for the Harley Medical Group, I had the upper hand there where obviously I learned laser treatments and things as well.
Yeah, you knew all the extra bits.
Yeah.
How did you go about sourcing the right product, obviously, for your own business from there?
I just learned from the Harley Medical Group. So obviously working there, they were great. Yeah, their standards were high in regards to products and treatments and things. So, and consultation process, all of those things, they did have really high standards. So I feel that I did benefit a lot from that. So I knew straight away what laser I wanted, and it was one of the most expensive ones on the market, but I wasn't compromising. I knew how good the results were. And for about 3 years, I regretted that choice because it was costing me so much every month.
Yeah.
But now it pays for itself, so it's great. But
why do you think it's so unregulated then? As in,
I think it's just down to money.
Yeah, even if you knew the right product from your experience working at Harley, you then just trying to simplify it, obviously, from my perspective. Like, you go to like a warehouse, or there's a company online, and like you just open an account and be like, I'll have 100 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these.
I learned so I order my products from a pharmacy called Health Exchange. So you have to be a registered nurse or doctor, dentist, wherever you are, to be able to order from them. So you give them your insurance, your registration. So we all got a PIN number. You go give them that. They check who you are.
But all they sell is like proper stuff, basically.
Yeah. And then obviously companies like laser companies, they're all around the world then. So Cynosure is the laser I had for the laser hair removal. So they're a large company that I learned that from the Harley Medical Group then.
Yeah.
But this day and age, there's people who are literally, you could just be like in a warehouse.
Well, and just turn
in Newport somewhere. There'd be a garage door that's going to open up. They're going to call themselves something pharma something. So it sounds like pharmacy. And they're going to buy these products from wherever, the black market or wherever this dark thing is. That's not actual real fillers and Botox,
It's
and then
like
sell it for cheap. The amount of messages that I've had from people saying, "Hi, I'm so and so. I will basically undercut if you come to us and buy our products." And I think, are you all right? Like years ago, I had a boy message me, and I knew full well who he was, and he'd been in prison for drug dealing.
Wow.
Okay. What? And he just got his hands. Or do you think the stuff you buy?
He opened a company in Cwmbran.
What?
And offered, and I've seen his name. I thought, oh Christ. And this is how easy it is. And then you wonder then what is going on.
So if someone like Ollie came in and he wanted to have his Botox done, what should he look for in the clinic that he walks into to make sure he's getting a correct treatment?
I only want the good stuff, mind.
You need to ask the practitioner about their experience.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is asking that practitioner about them and what qualifications have they got, because lots of people will call themselves just aesthetic practitioners, and somebody who doesn't know about the industry will just assume maybe that they're medical practitioners, or maybe they just assume you don't have to be, or it's best not to be, or because they did a survey 2 years ago at a company, and they asked a question about who would you prefer to inject you, as nurses, doctors, dentists, beauticians, and beauticians come way above dentists and doctors.
What?
And I'm like, what? And dentists was one of the lowest. And I think dentists are the ones who do so much anatomy about the face. Yeah. They should be number one. But
I hate dentists. No, I love dentists, but like I hate it. I think I just hate injections.
In the mouth is the worst, isn't it? I had to have a fill-in about 2 weeks ago, and I was there all day thinking, oh God, I don't want to go. And I went there, and they said, oh, Shane, we need to x-ray you really because you're pregnant. Maybe we shouldn't. So should we wait? I was like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
but now I have to wait till June now.
Yeah, I
have to look forward to June and think about it for 3 months now.
I had 3 wisdom teeth out, and it was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah, my mum had the same done.
I felt as though they were
stretched. Did you have dinner while she was awake?
Yeah.
My mum said it was worse than childbirth.
I was up in Scotland when I was in the RAF.
I imagine it probably would be.
It was like the university hospital, so yeah, they all knew what they were doing or whatever. But like, I just remember them like, open your mouth a bit wider, and I'm like, it doesn't go. They had like put like rubber blocks in my mouth.
Yeah. There's no nice way of doing it. You literally body weight pull, right?
Yeah, I'm
literally body weight. Yeah. When I was doing my nursing, I was in a theatre placement, and I went down to the dental theatres. And these people were anaesthetised, so they was under general anaesthetic, completely asleep.
Yeah.
And I remember the 2 surgeons, and I remember seeing the surgeons' feet on the bottom of the bed for a grip, and pulling the noises they was making. I was like, oh my goodness, it was horrendous.
I'm that person that literally, I was like, I can still feel everything. And like, they were like, you can't put any more in, like last time. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But I can still feel everything. Do you know what I mean? And it was just the worst experience of my life.
Just leave
them in. How does that work then? Is that like pain? Not pain threshold, but like if I'm injected with all this.
Some people need more
like a stronger
product, I suppose. And the same with Botox, anaesthetic. Some people need a higher dose of these things.
The next thing you know is you wake up with a bloody nose.
Yeah, I wish they put me to sleep. Honestly, like it's still, it's like a very.
Is there a reason
bad
why they
memory.
wouldn't have put him to sleep?
Cost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got the cheap one.
Sorry, it costs too much to put you to sleep.
Should have gone private.
Should have gone to a proper. I should have asked them some questions about their experience.
Should have gone to an aesthetics nurse.
Yeah. So growing your business then. So obviously you knew you wanted to do everything properly. You knew you had almost a great insight at Harley to like the best and practices and best products.
And even still, there was best practice and best products. They still worked in a way where it was unsafe and it was all about
Is that because they were rushing and it was more money than kind of service?
Yeah. Too many people just being rushed in, and I just felt that it's not great when somebody's paying that much money as their face and they want to be able to feel comfortable with you. I think it's really important. But so I knew that I didn't want to go down that route. I didn't want anyone to feel rushed.
Yeah.
Like people come into me and I've always got more time than what I need.
Yeah.
But that allows for room for complications, more questions, anything like that.
Just to make people feel a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And make it a bit more of an experience.
And I speak a lot. So when people come into me, they a lot of my patients become friends because and I got lots of retention, so lots of patients have come back, and I think that goes to show.
Testament to you.
That goes to show. Yeah,
I actually witnessed this when we did the group shots. With you and all the patients upstairs, and it was literally like you just having a mates over for a few drinks.
Literally,
few drinks, few injections.
Yeah, few injections, few drinks. But and that's the type of. Like I wanted to try and get across. It's really difficult on social media, isn't it? Trying to get across who you are.
That was going to be my next question.
Especially when I won't speak on things, and I this is completely out my comfort zone because I hate it.
You should though.
I know.
People are going to watch this and just be like, it's insightful. Whether you care or whether you're already getting them done, it's like you said, no one speaks about it.
No.
And
it's
that,
a big
actually now,
piece.
like we sat here with yourself, who's doing everything properly, but then on the flip side of that, there's nothing stopping someone from doing it.
No.
Just me and Craig could go and buy some tonight.
Yeah, but and there's lots of patients who don't really care either about who's doing it. They just care about cost.
The cost. And is that the kind of, so just like, obviously we'd have to talk exact figures or you're more than happy to share it, but like the cost of getting your lips done properly then, what's kind of the difference? Is it like £100 if someone's doing them?
So on product wise, like we use Tearsil, which can be around about £240 a box of 2 syringes. And then you can have somebody who's using a very cheap product, like something called Revelax, which was something that came out a few years ago that lots of people were using, which is actually being recalled now by the MHRA, which is the medicine guidelines.
Yeah. It's funny that they're recalling it, but they're not like...
For like £20.
What?
Wow.
£20 a syringe. And if you're buying massive bulk of these products, you're getting more and more free.
Discount.
Like with Tearsil, Juvederm, those type of things, you do get a discount when you're ordering a lot more.
Does it have a shelf life though?
Yes, it has shelf life.
What's the shelf life on it?
Depends really on the product, and then that shows in the quality of product you get then as well. How
Something good won't really. It's like fresh milk and long life milk.
Yeah.
So not comparing it. Not that you're injecting
Aldi
milk, but
veg, Tesco
my very
milk
simple.
is good for your skin.
Yeah.
Lactic and stuff. The Cleopatra used to bathe in milk, so we could have some long life milk.
There, we'll clip that.
In the bath.
Exclusive.
My simple brain going. Aesthetics, milk
bath.
Yeah,
milk bath. That's it. Milk bath's good for
She's
you.
offering that.
milk bath. That's a thing, though. That's like a high-end beauty treatment.
Cleopatra brought it out.
Yeah,
Milk
get a bath. We're happy to kind of take 10% of that idea. We usually take 10% of all the ideas.
What does it actually do? The milk bath.
The skin.
Have you ever had a Turkish bath? Just going off
best thing
tangent.
in the world.
So I went to Turkey, first holiday with Nick, best mate, 16, naive, thought we had loads of money, thought we'd take like £300 each, booked a hotel, turned out the hotel was at the bottom of the strip, obviously. By the time we got to the top of the strip, we ran out of money. And then we turned out, while we were out having drinks, we booked ourselves for a Turkish bath. The easiest way to explain it is we got this bus, picked us up from the hotel, got to this building, this guy opened the door, he was just in a towel. And then he was like, yeah, go in there. And there was this massive circle marble stone. He was like, if you both just want to lie down on there, I'll be back in a minute. And me and Nick just looked at each other at this point, and I was like, okay, this is weird. Very like, anyway, he comes back in, he's got 2 soapy towels, and basically he just hit us with them for half an hour. And we
like big pillowcases filled with soap, isn't it? And they whack them around.
We paid for the privilege.
I can go one weirder.
Go on then.
I've actually filmed this before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I've actually filmed this procedure.
This is the stuff that Craig doesn't put on his socials.
Locally or?
No, this was in Mexico.
Because nobody offers them around here.
No.
If somebody had...
Properly?
Yeah.
And aesthetically, it looks visually very good, but not so much.
It's all marble.
Once a month, I'd be well in there.
Yeah.
What, getting hit with a soapy towel?
You're not meant to get hit, though, are you? They're meant to,
I think they
get the pillowcase, they spin it up, and when it fills with air, then all the bubbles come out.
Okay.
I have the last time, actually, just before I opened the clinic, I did open in the clinic with somebody else previously, And we went to Turkey for a few days beforehand, before the calm before the storm. And we had a Turkish bath, and both of us hadn't done together. So it was two men doing it, and they were speaking obviously Turkish. And then one of the men, obviously in a bikini, and they're rubbing up your body, and they were like salts and like, they're really scrubbing your skin, which is what the nice bit is, because they're getting all the dirt and muck off you. Then they start talking to each other, and then the one grabs me by my ankles and starts like hoovering me around this marble.
What?
Literally flying me around, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what is going on? And I'm laughing because I'm really
this is great, thank you.
Thinking, oh my God.
Really love your technique.
If I'm near a bikini thinking, I need to get out of here. But still, nice experience.
Turkey.
Turkish baths.
We've really just sold.
But if somebody did do Turkish baths, I think it'd go really good for skincare.
Yeah.
Really good for skin.
There you go, there's an idea.
That's it. What's your...
That'll be Craig's next thing he's doing now.
Yeah, you'll see it on his Instagram.
That's what that room's going to be now.
He'll be like, I need another wall. So business-wise, are you where you want to be? Are you kind of comfortable?
I don't think in business, you're never where you want to be, I suppose.
No. What's the end of your plan? You got like 12-year, 5-year, 12-month plan? Or...
I don't really go by 12 month, I suppose. I like to think that...
Obviously, baby's coming.
Yes, baby's coming in 7 weeks.
Have you got it set up so kind of the business can still tick over, or is it kind of difficult?
But you were never absent the first time, right? You've obviously, this is child number 2.
Yes.
And I'm sure when I came in, baby was fairly fresh at that point.
She was fresh.
And you were still working.
Yeah.
Fresh
Poor
one.
Bugger. But no, 3 months I had off with Hallie.
Okay.
It was perfect timing for me. It was we went to lockdown December 20, is it? Yeah, December 20. So I did plan to come back into work. I think it was like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. I was due on the 7th of Jan. But on the 20th, which was that Saturday, they announced that lockdown all of a sudden, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I didn't go back to work then after that. And then we was in lockdown up until I think mid-March, was it?
Don't know. You say dates and I'm like, I was like, it's just absolute cluster.
So that gave you the 3 months...
of off with literally no interruptions. So obviously the clinic was closed. I didn't have anybody asking questions, really no inquiries coming in as much because people didn't know when they was rebooking.
Is it just not just you, but kind of doing the procedures? Have you got a team?
There's me and 2 other girls now, and they're both beauty therapists.
But you've trained them up?
Yeah, but they don't do any injectables. So they only do the skin and laser treatments, which they're allowed to do by our insurance.
So while you're off,
insurance. So
while you're off
so nobody's doing the injectables because I'm a bit controlling over those things.
But once obviously baby's here and kind of you've got your routine and you're comfortable, you can almost be like, I'll do one morning or for an hour I'll go in.
It's already planned. Yeah. So I'm obviously going off now.
Are you listening to this, baby? Like you've got plans, you know what I mean? Like once you're out, we'll have some food and then we're going work on a Monday.
Yeah, take the baby with me. Do you know what? Your patients wouldn't care.
No.
If you took patients with you, even if it was breastfeeding, hanging off the breast, they would be happily there. They honestly, they don't.
That's just life, isn't it?
So many patients like, what do you mean? When are you going off? And like, when you come back? I'm like, oh, don't worry about me having a child. You just worry about your face.
Yeah.
But lots of my patients, obviously, they're completely aware that I'm pregnant. And lots of my regulars, they planned ahead of having the treatments done. So they've all had their fillers ready, so they won't need them for a good 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
Botox is more 3 to 6 monthly. Yeah. So I've got those ones who are very panicking.
Yeah. Is it more kind of new inquiries? You'd be like, probably 2 months or 3 months.
We've got people who are inquiring for PRP, which is hair restoration treatment. I know we spoke about all these things before. But
new one.
I've said to them, like, we can only do one treatment now, and I'm on maternity. I wouldn't be able to do it until July. I'm only planning to take 3 months off.
Yeah.
But this guy who's coming in to have it done now, he's like, oh no, I'm happy to wait. My brother's had it done with you. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Which is nice.
That's lovely.
Yeah. It's almost what you like coming back to what you pride yourself on.
But again, the same thing, I'm completely honest saying, obviously, you can go with the places. Where are you based? I'll have a little look for you and see if I can recommend
No, you just
else.
Want the good result, right?
I want them to. And I think it goes.
Is it hard to recommend someone good though? Or
not hard. Like it's different people who specialise in. People are better at certain things.
Yeah. It might not be like you wouldn't recommend someone else for like an injection.
No, sometimes I do. Okay. Yes, so especially for.
But is it few and far between?
Yeah, if we had like a difficult nose, so obviously a non-surgical rhinoplasty. There's a girl in Newport, Meg, who's amazing at noses. So I would always just recommend to her.
Shout out to Meg on the noses.
Meg, do him a smile.
There
Meg
we are.
Mohan. She's a dentist. She's fab. So I like for noses and stuff, I'd always recommend to go to her. So I always do recommend.
So you got like a network, almost like a specialist for like certain areas.
Yeah, whereas, I still do noses myself, but if it's a difficult one that I think, hang on, I think it needs somebody who does these a lot more than what I do them, then I would refer on. And again, that's patient safety and me having a conscience and making sure that they get the best result. Because I think in the long run, is okay, I might lose that £350 there and then, but that person's going to think, oh, do you know what, she could have just done that.
Yeah. But then they'll come back to you for other stuff maybe as well.
Exactly, and then she'll talk to other people and things then. So if you do a bad job on one person, you've lost 10 people. If you don't do the job and give them a good experience somewhere else, they're going to want to come back anyway because they're going to like you as a person.
So in terms of, we always speak about social media. How does social media benefit your business? I know you do personally.
I hate it. I love it, but I hate it. And I obviously had a social media team, didn't I, who did all my work for me.
Do you do it in the house now?
Literally. That last post, so the post that we did for Random Act of Kindness, Sophie did a giveaway. We did the biggest giveaway yet.
Sophie's one of your staff?
Yes. Yeah. And then we've done a post the other day for chin augmentation. They're the only posts that I've done so far by myself in like a year.
Okay.
And because obviously we had a social media team that done it for us, but cutting costs and things, trying to...
Do you feel like now though as well, especially with the baby, it's almost like last thing you want to do is like ump it up and actually like maybe when you're back with the baby in routine, you might then start maybe a bit more of a campaign or... I
think I'm just going to have to get on with the social media because you have to be present on there, don't you? If you know
see the benefit
people
of it.
don't...
The thing I've learned with it, like at the start, I always just used to post everything and like actually it's like quality that I've been told.
Yeah.
And like that's a learning curve in business. It's like you think, oh, people want to see everything and they do, but then like you'll scroll through our Instagram feed.
I think I'm the opposite.
Well, you just...
I think before I wouldn't post hardly anything.
And now you post everything.
Well, it's because the social media team used to post for us and they post, I think, nearly every day and then there's stories and stuff. And then I think sometimes it becomes a bit too much.
Yeah.
And a bit like, oh, I've seen that yesterday or it's the same thing. And they just get a bit bored of seeing the same things. It almost I feel like our social media, the girls done an amazing job and it looks really professional and it's great. Yeah. But I felt like it lost...
Is it a bit impersonable?
Yeah. And because of who I am and I'm such a small team, I'm very down to earth and I feel like it lost that. It almost became too businessy, that it looked too professional to the outside person.
Yeah.
I'll give you some feedback now, Roisin, live. It needs more you in there and it needs more of the team.
I know.
Because you are the personality behind it. And
Sophie's great.
It's evident that you're the reason why your business is doing so well. You know, and obviously your clients agree with you. So why would you not put yourself forward?
Hey, do you know what'll be good? You can post the pod.
I will post the pod.
Get to know the real me. Click the link. Click the link in my bio. Yeah. There you go.
Exposed.
Be like, I've got social media coming for the next 3 months. Yeah, just watch the pod. Do you know what I mean? I reveal all.
You can just clip the episode.
Down speaking. I actually thought about doing a podcast a few months ago, and I said to the social media girls about doing one.
You can have the space.
Speaking about mental health and stuff in aesthetics, I think a lot of people don't speak about those type of things.
Yeah, the reasons why, or
I was going to ask the question, but I thought it's quite a dark topic. But the reason why people go and have aesthetics, it could be insecurities, it could be enhancements. There's a whole cluster.
But I also think there's lots of people who go into aesthetics to have these treatments done, especially the younger girls.
They think that's what,
and they don't even really think about having the treatment done. They don't feel insecure. They just see an influencer having
everyone's doing
done.
it.
Everyone's having it done. They see these chiseled cheekbones and sharp noses and jawlines, what have you, and they want to have it done. But the knock-on effects that's going to have years down the line. That's what's worrying.
When you start so young.
That's what's really worrying. Yeah, and I think people aren't looking into this.
They do it. Do you know what I mean? It's something you can.
Yeah,
you might
makes
find
me feel sad.
You rent the space.
And I think there's people who obviously they chase it. And years ago, like people come in and they'll say, oh, I've got this line, I hate this line, I'm feeling heavy here, I want it gone. And as a practitioner, you want to meet their expectations, you want to make them happy and get rid of that line. Whereas now I've said, hang on, you know, you're 30 years old.
The conversation comes first. There's almost like you talk for an hour and then actually it's like, we'll do this, but don't worry about this. Do you know what I mean? That's just life.
And you say we have to age. Yeah. But how long can we chase perfection for? Yeah. We can't just chase getting rid of every single line. And then, you know, I always used to joke saying like, when I'm going to be 50, I'm going to have this face that doesn't move and a saggy neck. Mm-hmm. But it's understanding and accepting that we need to age and that we need to have some lines. And that's what gives us our character and that's what makes us us. Otherwise, we are going to look very, very unnatural and very morphed and alienized and look very odd in years to come. And I think that the aesthetics is going to be an ugly world in about 5-10 years' time.
Yeah, it's one of them quick decisions. Actually, like working with someone like yourself is a conversation and chance to think about it, whether it's a rash decision or whether I've been thinking about it for years. I want to do it, but the scary thing is, it's if you the conversation with you actually makes them think, starts asking questions, and then they say, oh, £40 fillers on Facebook in my garage. Do you know what I mean?
And people come in and I go, okay, they've been somewhere else before, and they'll come in for corrective work and they want me to dissolve. And like, I don't do that anymore. Like I say, I'm sorry, but I'm not happy to do corrective work. You need to go back to your previous practitioner. I don't know what product they've used, how much they use, what depth they've injected. Or
you could be making it worse before you make it better.
Yeah, and they become your issue then. They become on your insurance, and you don't even know what they've had.
It's funny because even though it's aesthetics, like that's just like a day-to-day problem within like my business, everyone's business, and sometimes
correcting people's work.
Yeah, you get asked. There's nothing worse than we say no a lot of the time because.
In the beginning, I'd say because it's business, isn't it?
But then it's hard because like we'll get asked to, oh, can you fix this because someone's done a rubbish job on it, and it's like, yeah, we can fix it to a certain point, but then everything after you've done the initial fixing is then your issue, and it's like we can only help you do this, and that's almost where you've got to be very clear. It's kind of, we can fix this, this and this, but this and this will always look that way because we didn't make it.
Yeah, and it's never going to be the outcome that you wanted either.
Don't get back in touch and be like, oh, we really like what you've done, but this still isn't fixed.
Let's just start again.
So it's hard, but I think that's just like a natural problem in business. Everyone, I think it comes back to the price,
cost.
Cheap.
Like obviously with people will always go somewhere cheaper, especially if somebody's doing like a full renovation.
Yeah.
And then they're looking to cut costs in some areas. If somebody's coming with a higher price and someone's offering cheaper, they're always going to go cheaper, aren't they?
I think it's just education's missing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, so life with me, like I'm the tightest person you'll ever meet. But then actually, like sometimes there's a reason why it's cheap. And I know my company's not the cheapest, but actually like we're similar quality, to both of it. It's like quality. We pride ourselves on the service. We want to use the best materials. We're coming up with the latest ideas.
And you don't put a needle in anyone.
And we don't put a needle in anyone. Do you know what I mean? But there's a price for that. But then someone will do it cheaper. But then when you break it down, and I think people don't do that. People don't break down why something's cheaper. So someone might undercut us because they're doing it out the back of their van.
Yeah.
Whereas we've got 4,000 square foot a unit. We've got a team of 8. We've got all the vans. We've got insurance. I just renewed my van insurance. It's $3,000. And it's like, but then, so even though the cost of the job, it's like you've almost got it was about time we did a wobbly. A percentage of all your overheads has to cover every job.
Yeah.
So at the start it's hard because you don't
experience together, isn't it? And
you don't want to lose jobs at the start. Like your first 12 months in business is definitely the hardest.
Yes to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you feel like you need to. Then it's excitable as well, though, isn't it? You think, they're coming to me, they want to have it done. And
yeah, it's a weird world because yes, and actually, like as you grow and develop and actually work out what you want to be doing in business
and who you want to be in business, and sometimes what clientele you want.
Yeah, and no is just as good as a yes, but to get to that point where you can say no, and that no might be 500 quid or
it is. But I say to new businesses that I work with now, I'm like, you need to overcome this sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
because it'll only hurt you.
100%. I think one of the biggest things in business is finding who you want to be and learning to be able to say no.
Yeah.
And going by your morals and your gut and things. It's been plenty of times, and even about 2 years ago, I had a lady come into clinic, and in my gut, I was thinking, don't treat her, she's going to be a nightmare. And I was thinking, no, it'll be fine. But my gut was saying, don't do it, Roisin. And even after all these years, I still did it, and they come back to bite me, and I thought I knew I shouldn't have treated her.
What do you mean bite you? Can you explain?
She was just a nightmare, just
never happy,
issues,
like always
never
an
happy,
issue.
Yeah, wanted her money back, all of those things. Brought her mum in to complain.
It's almost like they've got the plan of over the next 5 years, how are they going to make up stuff? How are they going to annoy you?
It's
and
almost
say,
like people want to have
go out their way
done, and then they think they've gone somewhere else before that hasn't been as professional. Maybe they've had a treatment done and then complained about it, had their money back. They think, oh, I'm going to have free treatment out of this. But they come to me, and then their mother was like, oh, so you're not going to give her money back? I was like, your daughter has come for a medical procedure which carries risks. I said that she's had a little bit of swelling, which is completely normal, and a little bit of superficial placement, which we can dissolve, which I'm happy to do free of charge, may I add, which should be a charge for because it's on your consent form.
This is the moment where you actually want to read a consent form. Like you know when you go to a spa and you just have a massage.
I go through the whole consent form.
I was going to say, Roisin already got this covered.
Yeah.
And my consultation process is really thorough, so I do go through everything, and I tell them the ins and outs of these treatments.
I bet a lot of it they don't want to hear either.
Not especially before they get back to get injected, when you tell them the possibility of blindness. Yeah. They're like, huh?
Blindness.
But you know what? But still, nobody said, actually, I'm going to go away. Yeah. They've still gone to bed.
That's not even the biggest problem. Like, don't worry about the blindness. Worry about Dave doing it from his container in his garden. Do you know what I mean? 20 quid a shot.
Worry about that.
20 quid a shot.
20 quid a shot. You know, is it usually 3 for 50? We got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
Craig?
Yeah, so I ask every guest the same question.
Oh, God.
No pressure. And I will put you on the spot.
I should know this question, shouldn't I, if I watched him?
Whereas easy, well, it's not easy.
It's all right.
Anyway, the question is, if you had one piece of advice that you would give to someone, either in aesthetics or just business in general, what would you say to them, like day in, day out? Like for me, it's just the overarching thing for me, what I say to people is just get it done, get shit done.
Or it is what it is.
Or it is what it is, yeah.
But you know what? And sometimes I beat myself up over this, like, get it done. I feel that I could always be working harder than where I am.
I wouldn't put you... Yeah.
But
hey, this is your answer.
You have to have balance, don't you?
Yeah.
But I think if I was starting out again, I would want to be able to find who I was straight away and learn to be able to say no to these patients sooner rather than
overcome
later.
that.
But that's part of a journey, though. I feel like I've just said or say no, but I was that person,
and I feel like every business owner goes through it.
Yeah,
you've got to say yes. But like you said,
if you can do it, find that sooner rather than later.
Honestly, every single person I work with now who is a startup, I'll say that to them, and they go, and I know they're thinking like, actually, I've got overheads. We don't take advice though, but we don't, do we? We're guilty of not taking advice when we're starting. I appreciate when you start, you need to get bills paid. You're making that jump to going self-employed, perhaps, and you've never done it before.
You might not be doing the job you want.
We're ourselves, and we're a bit naive, aren't we, in the beginning? And we're still, I think, if you're still naive, going through business, you're still learning. Like I've come from a background where, like when you speak about, obviously this is like a business podcast, I feel like saying to the girls yesterday, but I don't feel like I'm a businesswoman.
Yeah, look how you're smashing it.
What do you mean? You say you're a businesswoman. I said, I don't know. I don't feel like I am. I feel like I'm just like going with the flow. But
that shows that like you've got that care and you've got that passion, and yes, it is a business and it needs to make money, but that's what makes you different to everyone else. Like that's what makes you stand out because you've got that, and it's not just. Otherwise, you'd be Harley. You'd be the conveyor belt.
But still actually closed now. To be
I think you don't give yourself enough credit because I see what I see on Instagram because we don't speak as often, but I see that you put on the new procedures as well. Because if you're just happy and content, you just stick to the Botox and stuff, right?
Yeah, but actually, I want to come away from that more as well, though. Like because
I've just seen you do the very intimate laser now as well.
Yeah, which made my insurance go up by a fortune.
Intimate laser,
vaginal tightening.
There we are. You got a discount code for that?
Yeah.
use fucking hell. Anyway,
but it's more so for stress incontinence and stuff. So for
there's reasoning behind it. There's a market for it.
Whenever something's brought into the clinic, it's because Roisin probably needs it herself. Okay. And I'm completely open and honest about these things and about.
Is that because you're looking at kind of not the latest procedures, but you're looking at what the next thing is?
I'm not even looking. Like about a year ago, I was went down to Barry, and you know those old dance machine things.
Yeah.
And I had to do a double tap. I had to jump, and I thought, oh my God, I can't even do this. I weigh myself. This is ridiculous. And obviously, I've had one child, and I was thinking, God, help me after having a second one. So I thought, I need to look into this and be able to sort this out.
And that's where it started.
And yes, where it started. So, and unfortunately, I haven't even been able to have that treatment done because I got pregnant again. So you can't have any of these treatments pregnant or breastfeeding. So I have to wait till afterwards.
I'm sure there's a big market for it, though.
Huge. And there's people, obviously, lots of women who have had children and who haven't had children who struggle with stress incontinence.
Yeah.
So it's more, as much as we say it's about vaginal tightening, I haven't had anybody actually in solely
for that reason.
Vaginal tightening.
People don't come in and be like, I was on the
about it. Maybe they want that added benefit as well a little bit. But mainly it's for stress incontinence. There can be some women who haven't even had children.
Wow. Okay. Actually, that's a really, I feel like more awareness of that product, and it could be like one of your biggest.
Bigger than Botox,
yeah. Well,
people coming in and be like, I'm doing a dance competition.
In Barry.
Yeah.
But
just stand by
come on, Barry.
But it's we're about to launch we were hoping to launch it in January, but it didn't happen. So we're going to launch it when I come back now, and it's like a postpartum package.
Wow,
so obviously being a new mum and all of that, knowing the struggles about things, it's going to be like combined with our new treatments. We've got lots of new lasers. So it's going to be like stretch mark treatment, skin tightening on the tummy, power sculpt for muscle tightening, and then obviously vaginal tightening for stress incontinence, or vaginal tightening on its own as well.
It's another world, isn't it all?
Another market. So my question is not about vaginal tightening.
No.
So you've got all the knowledge you've got today.
Yes.
But it's day one of business. I give you £1,000 cash. What do you do with it? We almost need to get like a bit of a music that plays.
Is it the stock though, isn't it? You buy your stock with grand cash.
Yeah.
I suppose if you're a business that needs stock, that's what you need to spend it on.
Yeah.
That wouldn't get you very far.
Would you still do aesthetics? Would you do something different? I think that's what I would get at.
No, I still do aesthetics.
Because you've got all the knowledge of... Would you maybe do something different though, as far as like all the procedures that you've done now? Would you maybe do the one that you're doing current day rather than the one you did day one?
No, but what I wouldn't do in business, what I've done a lot, and I still do, I don't learn, is buy things that I haven't really got the clientele for at the moment.
Right.
So like I bought a PRP machine about 3-4 years ago. Cost me like $4,000.
Yeah.
$4,000 that I didn't really have.
Yeah. And what, you don't use it?
Well, I use it now, starting to use it now.
But it's sat there.
Recently, Okay. And I think you quickly, especially social media, and you see your competitors doing things, you think, oh God, I need to do that. Should I be bringing in something else? And you have a bit of a panic and then you look into other things prematurely and think, oh, I haven't even got the clients for that.
Yeah.
So I'm not even making the money back.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So be mindful and just make sure you got the clientele there before you jump into these treatments. Because a lot of people will come in and go, can you train me in Botox and fillers? Or I want to do chemical peels and microneedling then. I'm like, slow down. Yeah. You can't do all these things and you can't learn that well. You can't be good at something and learn it all that quickly. Like these courses now within aesthetics, they have like a week's course and they'll go away and they'll do Botox, basic fillers, advanced fillers, chemical peels, microneedling. In 1 week.
That's insane.
And then they'll call themselves advanced practitioners because they've done advanced dermal filler training. So it's basically gone from doing basic lip fillers to doing some cheeks and noses and the advanced. Like that's so dangerous.
Yeah,
so dangerous.
Yeah.
So and I'm still learning, years and years on, you're always learning. And I've done treatments years ago and thinking, oh shit, lucky they didn't go blinking blind.
Yeah.
I remember treating an ex-boyfriend before for some filler across the top of his nose.
Was that his idea or yours?
Mine, obviously. Practice.
Hopefully he didn't piss you off that morning. Bam, blind.
Blind. You ain't see me again. But no, and I think, Christ, lucky nothing ever happened, but it's naivety and actually not knowing the anatomy as well as you think you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with
And with time and kind of experience, obviously it gives you a better business.
Yeah. And aesthetics is growing daily. And like years ago, we used to say fillers are going to last 6 to 9 months, 12 to 18 months. Now we're actually saying, well, no, they stay in the body for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's can be cadaver studies of people have had fillers 10, 15 years ago and it's still showing they have filler in the skin.
Wow.
So it's being mindful now that these treatments, they're not just going to be done and then go away in 9 months' time.
I mean, if I ever have them done, I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
I think the education there has given me the reassurance that I need.
Craig.
Where can people find you then? So if people do want to go ahead and have aesthetics, and obviously they want to have a conversation about it.
Nice experience with our lemon water and all of the little
lemon water,
the scent and the lemon water is always a winner.
We're selling the scent
Don't be
now.
taking all our ideas. Like you'll go back. We'll see it on social media. Like when the podcast goes live, our free Turkish bath with every needle.
Do you know what? I've literally thought about this Turkish bath. We got a garage.
You got
at the back
space,
of the building.
yeah?
We got a garage at the back of the building. I thought I'd love
We
that.
can fit that out for you. I don't know any big
Well, you
Turkish
two could
guys.
do it maybe.
What, the pictures?
Yeah, you can
do
be the
that.
2 Turkish guys.
With me.
We'd be the podcast on tour. We'll do it from the Turkish baths.
Turkish, Turkish, that'd be interesting.
So
It brings back bad
you're on
memories.
socials. What's the handle?
Allure Aesthetics Limited, Ltd.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've only used Instagram and Facebook, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm not against
Website?
this website.
Nice. And where
We're starting to do blogs on our website and things now as well. So
just about kind of the things we're talking about are kind of like what's happening in the news, benefits, all
do's
that.
and don'ts. Trying to get more into machinery-based treatments. So instead of just filling the face constantly and ongoing, looking at doing more skin-based treatments to stimulate collagen and stuff in different ways. So it means that they will need less fillers.
Yeah.
Looking at skin integrity more. But so we do lots of blogs and stuff to go onto the website.
Nice.
And then we only use Facebook and Instagram at the moment.
Cool.
Okay.
We'll share all your tags.
Thank you
very
very much.
insightful.
Thank
It's just mad. Do you know what I mean? Like we could talk all day about all these different things, and we're guys. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not getting
really,
it done.
though. Guys love it as
I
well.
think
Craig
it's
does.
really
Craig will be booking in later. What are you booking in for?
Craig's already had all his
Brotox.
treatments.
He's already done.
Thanks for that. We'll have a chat after maybe.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for
I hope
having
you
me.
enjoyed it. Honestly, it was really,
I did,
really good.
Yeah.
Because something a bit
You feel
different.
like you can speak forever though, can't you?
Yeah.
Like at first you think, I don't want to come on here and say, I don't know what to say.
That's our
And I
job.
sit
We're
here and I'm like,
professional interrupters. That's what we're working to
Yeah.
be. So on that
I think
note,
I'm a professional instructor, see?
oh, there you go. I can
Just
co-host
interrupt you again.
when Craig's away
Even for the spot.
filming weddings in Cyprus or Italy. You can
Yeah.
jump on the pod with me and we'll do it. Look at Craig. He's like, fuck's sake, you're going to the wedding now. Let's close the play. Thanks very much, Roisin.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Cheers.
Take
Thank you.
care. Bye for now.
Bye bye.